headlines for tonight. The Anti-Money Laundering Council freezes the assets of 20 officials from the Public Works and Highways and involved contractors to the flood control projects.
Vice President Sara Duterte defends the OBP's proposed 2026 budget alone before House Committee on Appropriations.
The Malacanang Palace says President Marcos remains calm amid the surge of nationwide protests set on September 21st.
The Philippines is set to reaffirm multilateralism and sustainable development at UN General Assembly.
And Filipino tennis player Alex Yala is going to compete in Jingsan Tennis Open in China. Good evening, bringing you the latest news for tonight. I am ALVIN, PELOBELLO.
And I am KRIZZA Lopez. This is Eurotv News Thread. The details on our broadcast. The Anti-Money Laundering Council, or AMLAC, has frozen the assets of all Department of Public Works and Highways officials and contractors involved in the ongoing investigation.
The action was taken into response to a request from Secretary Vince Dizon to prevent the assets from being concealed. More from this report.
The assets of contractors involved in anomalies surrounding flood control funds have officially been frozen. According to Anti-Money Laundering Council lawyer Matthew M. David, the frozen assets cover 20 officials from the Department of Public Works and Highways along with several contractors. Among those affected are Bulacan 1st District Engineer Henry Alcantara, Bulacan Assistant District Engineer Bryce Hernandez, and former OIC Assistant Engineer J.P. Mendoza. Also included are the assets of Sara Discaya, Curly Discaya, and Maria Roma Rimando, owners of St. Timothy Construction and St. Gerard Construction. Other contractors affected are Mark Allen V. Arevalo, General Manager of Wow Builders, and Sally N. Santos, owner of SYMS Construction Builders. This move follows the request of Public Works Secretary Vince Dizon to freeze the assets in order to prevent them possible concealment, which may also be linked to corruption. This is KRIZZA Lopez for Eurotv News.
Vice President Sara Duterte appeared alone at the Senate budget hearing to defend the office of the Vice President's proposed budget for 2026, where she waived parliamentary courtesy and directly answered questions, including those about her official travel expenses. Mia Layagin has more.
Vice President Sara Duterte on Tuesday's hearing bravely graced alone the House Committee on Appropriations budget deliberations for the Office of the Vice President's proposed budget for fiscal year 2026. Her presence is a bold move following the issue of OVP's no-show during the original hearing set on Friday. During the weekends, OVP clarified that they were prepared to send over their Assistant Secretary to the deliberations, but it was the House that deferred the hearing as only the head of the department until undersecretary levels can defend the fund. Following the rescheduled hearings, VP Sara presented alone the budget proposal of her office for 2026 with 902,895,000 pesos proposed funds. Based on her presentation, 23.54% or 212,538,000 pesos of the funds will be allocated for OVP's personal services, 1.84% for the capital outlay, while majority is for maintenance and other operating expenses. It can be recalled that before the Friday's hearing was deferred, the House Committee on Appropriations agreed to grant OVP parliamentary courtesy by tradition. However, two members of the minority, which is the ACT Teachers Party List and Kabataan Party List, were given the floor to ask questions with 5 minutes each. Duterte then waived the courtesy grant, facing and answering the questions personally and directly, particularly regarding last year's confidential funds.
If the committee would like to ask how the Commission on Audit conducts its audit, I request that all the questions be propounded during the hearing of the Commission on Audit. Second, the subject confidential funds is a matter in impeachment proceedings, which is archived, but there is a pending motion for reconsideration in the Supreme Court. I cannot discuss defense strategy. Number 3, I cannot discuss intelligence operations and cannot explain how intelligence operations are done without compromising national security.
She further defended her official trips, arguing that all of these were approved and are from her own pocket. After the questions were done, the committee formally terminated the budget deliberations for the OVP. This is Mia Layagin for Eurotv News.
Malacanang Palace has assured the public that President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. remains calm and unconcerned about the nationwide protests viewing demonstration as allies in his administration's fight against corruption. More from Vanessa Cliafas.
Malacanang assures that President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. remains calm and not worried amid the surge of nationwide protest in the country. According to Palace Press Officer and Undersecretary Claire Castro, the President is aware that the rallyists are actually on his side when it comes to the administration's advocacy that focused on fighting corruption. Castro also added that holding protest is normal not only in the Philippines but also in other countries.
Ang pagpoprotesta naman ay natural, normal yan. Sa bawat bansa, kung may mga sentimiento ang mga kababayan natin. Hindi naman po nangangamba ang Pangulo dahil alam po niya na ang pagpoprotesta ng taong bayan ay tungkol sa paglaban sa korupsyon. At binanggit din po niya kahapon na siya mismo ang nagsimula upang mapaimbestigahan itong mga maanumalyang flood control projects. So hindi po nangangamba ang Pangulo sa gagawing protesta dahil alam po niya na ang magpoprotesta dito ay kakampi rin po niya, kakampi sa kanyang adhikain. Dahil sabi nga po niya kahapon, kung hindi siya presidente, malamang ay makakasama rin siya sa pagprotesta laban sa korupsyon.
The palace clarified that rallyists on the administration side means are allies in his administration's advocacy to combat corruption, particularly in connection to the anomalous flood control projects.
Para laban sa korupsyon. Hindi po ibig sabihin yun po ay mismo mga tao niya na siya magrarally. Ang adhikain po ang magkakakampi para labanan ng korupsyon.
The voice of the people expressed through protest actions is always a way to express their sentiments on the current issue in the country. Nevertheless, law enforcement agency should still remain present during this protest to ensure the peace and safety of ordinary citizens who might be affected in the events. According to Yusek Castro, the President's call for the preservation of peace amid protests is part of his duty as the chief executive and not an attempt to dictate how people should conduct their demonstrations.
Sabi po ba ng Pangulo na ang pagpoprotesta ay maging peaceful at hindi nalalabag ng anumang batas? Yan po ba ay isang pagdidikta? At lumalabas po ba na ang Pangulo ay isa ng diktador? Kung siya ay makikiusap sa mga magpoprotesta na hindi gawing ganun kagulo ang pagiging protesta, kung lalo na't ito'y lalabag sa batas. Kung magkakaroon po ng gulo, hindi po ibig sabihin niya na hindi po papasok ang mga law enforcement agencies kung may maaapektuhan naman po mga inosente. So, obligasyon po at trabaho po ng mga police officers ng anumang law enforcement agencies na ipatupad ang peace and order kahit po may mga pagpaprotesta.
It can be recalled that this week, a large protest is expected to take place in the country in connection with the condemnation of alleged anomalies in flood control projects. On September 21, thousands of protesters are expected to join the trillion peso march at the People Power Monument. In addition to that, other groups will be holding similar demonstration at the Luneta Park as well as in Cebu,
Negros, Baguio, Cagayan, and other parts of the Philippines. Meanwhile, it should be noted that these widespread protests from various sectors and groups began after President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. revealed in his State of the Nation Address or SONA the existence of ghost and substandard flood control project anomalies that have angered the public due to the billions of peso in taxpayers' money that wasted. This is Vanessa Cleofas for Eurotv News.
Meanwhile, Vice President Sara Duterte has publicly criticized the government's approach to the flood control corruption scandal, questioning the need for a new investigative committee. The Vice President also called for the removal of House Speaker Martin Romualdez from his post, citing alleged bribery among lawmakers. Mia Layagin returns for the details.
Pag ikaw presidente ba, tapos alam mo na kung anong nangyayari. Tapos nakikita mo na based on the budget kung paano binaboy yung pera ng bayan. Mag-aantay ka pa ba ng komisyon o ng truth commission o ng kung anong komisyon yan? Actionan mo kasi kaagad dapat yan.
This was the reaction of Vice President Sara Duterte on the recent developments on the issues of corruption on flood control projects and leadership in the House of Representatives. VP Sara particularly criticized the formation of independent committee for infrastructure to investigate the anomalies in flood control projects and other infrastructure in the country. Duterte questioned the late and almost unnecessary committee when the president himself knows the issues and anomalies. She further criticized the leadership of House Speaker Martin Romualdez, citing issues of bribery and insertions among lawmakers tied with flood control mess.
Unang-una, sinabi ko na noon, nagpumili siya ng speaker na involved sa bribery nakalagay sa isang kaso doon sa Amerika. Klarong-klaro na doon nakita na involved siya sa racketeering and sa bribery. So, ikaw ba, presidente ka ba, ilalagay mo ba yung ganyang klaseng speaker? Siyempre, hindi na, di ba? So, anong nangyari sa budget natin? Na-racketeering din.
It can be recalled that several lawmakers have been named with alleged ties on corruption regarding flood control issues. VP Sara demanded that Romualdez should have been removed from the post ever since and a lifestyle check among lawmakers be conducted instead of designating a new investigating committee. On the other hand, VP Sara expressed support to the circulating news regarding challenge in Romualdez speakership.
Dapat lang. Dapat lang talaga. Dahil nakita nyo naman yung budget 2023, 24, 25. Malamang agawan na naman yan ng budget sa 2026. At lahat yung mga past budgets natin, nakita natin na it was under the leadership of Speaker Martin Romualdez.
This is Mia Layagin for Eurotv News.
The Department of Transportation and the Land Transportation Office have formally filed a falsification of documents complaint against the two members of the so-called BGC Boys for allegedly using fake driver's licenses to enter a casino. Henry Nicolas with a report.
Transportation or DOTR together with the Land Transportation Office has formally filed a complaint against two members of the so-called BGC Boys or Bulacan group of contractors for allegedly using fake driver's license to enter a casino. The two names, former DPWH Bulacan 1st District Engineer Henry Alcantara and Assistant District Engineer Bryce Hernandez, as respondents. They were charged at the Parañaque City Prosecutor's Office for violation of Article 172 of the Revised Penal Code or falsification of public documents.
Bagamat may sinabi sila Henry Alcantara na yung lisensya ay binigay lamang ng Okada, hindi naman po nila tinatanggi na ginamit nila ang lisensyang yun. At yan po ay isang krimen. So ang DOTR at ang LTO, hindi po natin hayaan na lapastanganin ng ninuman, ng mapa-opisyal o pribadong individual, ang lisensya po ng DOTR at ng LTO.
Acting Transportation Secretary Giovanni Lopez said Alcantara and Hernandez admitted using fake licenses is a serious crime. He said similar cases are also being preferred against other members of the so-called BGC Boys, RJ Dumasig and JP Mendoza. Meanwhile, the licenses of Alcantara and Hernandez have also been cancelled for life for also using fake licenses according to the LTO. Acting Secretary Lopez warned individuals who continue to use and will use fake license that they will also be charged with appropriate charges when they are caught. Bryce has been returned to the custody of the Senate after being brought to the Pasay City Jail. It can be recalled that Senator Ping Lacson exposed the so-called BGC boys who spend billions of pesos in casinos and allegedly use of fake licenses. This is Henry Nicolas for Eurotv News.
Moreover, Public Works Secretary Vince Dizon and Special Advisor for Independent Commission for Infrastructure Benjamin Magalong discovered a super substandard dike in La Union. DPWH chief further revealed that fake tubes used only for props. Here's the details.
In compliance with President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s directive to continue inspecting substandard and cost-cut flood control project, a dike in Barangay Acao, Bawang, La Union was discovered to have been built using fake materials. According to the inspection conducted by Public Works Secretary Vince Dizon and Independent Commission for Infrastructure Special Advisor Benjamin Magalong, the materials used were super substandard. Dizon expressed strong disappointment after seeing that the materials appeared to be installed merely as props or for aesthetics. He pointed out that even the pipes intended as water passages were fake and not functional, saying they were only placed on top rather than properly installed.
Dito una mo. Kinabit lang eh. Props eh. Props. Anak ng putang ito mga tao. Can you see?
Dizon further warned that the flood control projects could easily be washed out once hit by a natural calamity.
Nakita mo kung kailangan ko ng bakal to, sampal ng bakal. Pag ito tinamaan ng tubig to, wash out to. Sira to kagad. Ito yung bakal. Ito, meron na pala ako ng bakal. Ito yung sample. Sir Bench. Oo, ito na, meron na ako. Mayor,
based on the isumbong sa Pangulo website, the construction of the dike in Barangay Acao was already declared completed on March 16, 2025. The project cost a total of 28,946,444 pesos. This is KRIZZA Lopez for Eurotv News.
The Department of Foreign Affairs has announced its attendance to the 80th United Nations General Assembly in New York City from September 21 to September 27. DFA Secretary Maria Teresa Lazaro is set to lead the delegation and discuss the Philippines' role in responding to various issues it faces. Here's my report. Foreign Affairs Secretary Maria Teresa Lazaro is scheduled to attend the 80th United Nations General Assembly in New York City from September 21st to September 27th. Lazaro will lead the Philippine delegation to the international community, where the Secretary is set to lay out the Philippines' commitment to multilateralism and the rules-based international order during the high-level week. The Secretary will emphasize the Philippines' role in responding to the complex challenges it faces, as well as calling on the UN to firmly promote peace, security, climate action, migrant protection, and sustainable development. The Department of Foreign Affairs said the Philippine delegation will also have high-level discussions on important issues including artificial intelligence, climate financing, migration, biodiversity, and maritime security. Lazaro will also have bilateral meetings with foreign ministries of other countries to strengthen bilateral and multilateral ties and promote the Philippines' interest in advancing national priorities. Meanwhile, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. will not be able to attend the 80th UN General Assembly. According to the palace, the president wants to focus on the issues in the country amid the ongoing investigation into the country's multi-billion peso flood control project anomalies. This is ALVIN PELOBELLO for Eurotv News.
The Department of Health has strongly condemned and warned the public against fake online posts falsely claiming that the agency endorses various dietary supplements. Vanessa Cleophas has the report.
The Department of Health or DOH has strongly condemned the widespread online post falsely claiming that the agency endorses certain dietary supplements. The DOH clarified that it does not sell or endorse any formula milk or dietary supplements. They also emphasized that the advertisements circulating on social media are fake and have not been authorized to use the DOH name to promote or market such products. The department further stated that they have not approved any commercial product that claims to cure illnesses. The DOH maintained that it remains neutral and does not favor or support any specific product. It also stressed that it is not affiliated with any private or commercial company. The public is advised to be vigilant when purchasing products online and to make it a habit to verify them through the Food and Drug Administration's or FDA website. This is Vanessa Cleofas for Eurotv News.
In a move to strengthen intercity coordination across the National Capital Region, the Metro Manila Council and the Regional Development Council conducts a joint meeting to tackle various issues and projects in the region. Catherine Nadicho has more.
City Government of Manila successfully conducted first ever pre-annual prom in the city. The Metro Manila Council or MMC and the Regional Development Council or RDC convened in a joint meeting to discuss pressing issues and key projects across the National Capital Region. Among those present were Metro Manila Council President and San Juan City Mayor Francis Zamora, MMDA Chairman Attorney Don Artes, Manila Mayor Isko Moreno Dumagoso, Parañaque City Mayor Edwin Olivares, Pasay City Mayor Emi Calixto Robiano, as well as other local government representatives from various cities in the NCR. One of the main topics discussed was the implementation of a unified policy on street parking across Metro Manila. The proposal to amend existing anti-littering regulations was also raised to reinforce cleanliness and order in public roads.
At yung penalty po ay susundan po yung ating traffic code. Yun pa rin po. So same penalty po tayo noong naipasa natin noong nakaraan. So if ever po, magpapasa pa rin po ang bawat LGU ng regulation regarding po sa implementation nitong pong street parking ban po.
The council also addressed the potential rise of protest actions against corruption, emphasizing the need to ensure public safety and order during such demonstrations. Mayor Zamora underscored the importance of strong cooperations between local government units and national government to effectively implement infrastructure projects.
Hindi lamang limited again to DPWH, lahat po ng national government agencies. Kung anumang mga infrastructure projects ang gusto nilang ipatupad sa aming mga lungsod, dapat po sila ay makipag-ugnayan po sa amin at dapat meron po kaming approval sa mga proyektong ito. Ito po ay mahalaga upang maiwasan ang mga nangyayari ngayon na bigla na lang po nagsisimula ang mga national government agencies ng kanilang mga proyekto na hindi po nakikipag-ugnayan sa mga pamahalang lungsod, bigla na lang naghuhukay, bigla na lang nagtatayo na hindi po alam ng mga mayors po natin. Ang masama po rito, pag nagkakaloko-loko na yung mga proyektong ito, tsaka ngayon nagsisisihan at nagtutuan. At kami rin po
The meeting aimed to strengthen intercity coordinations across the Metro Manila and ensure that the welfare of residents in advance in unified and synchronized manner. The council also addressed the potential rise of protest actions against corruptions, emphasizing the need to ensure public safety. This is Catherine Nadicho for Eurotv News.
A most wanted person at the municipal level was arrested in a manhunt operation conducted last night, September 15, in Santa Maria, Bulacan. The accused is wanted for rape in Santa Maria. Meanwhile, 3 other wanted individuals were arrested in manhunt operations in coordination with the Pandi and Baliwag City Police. Shai Morales tells us more.
Alias Chico, a most wanted person at the municipal level, was arrested in a manhunt operation last night, September 15, in Barangay Pulong Buhangin, Santa Maria, Bulacan.
Meanwhile, in coordination with the Pandi and Baliwag City Police Station, with the support of Bulacan's 2nd Provincial Mobile Force Company, other 3 suspects were arrested.
According to a report submitted by Police Lieutenant Colonel Voltaire Rivera at Santa Maria Municipal Police Station, at around 7 p.m., the accused was arrested by virtue of a warrant issued by the Family Court, Branch 6, Santa Maria, Bulacan. Alias Chico is wanted for a rape case under Republic Act 8353, otherwise known as the Anti-Rape Law of 1997. According to the police report, the court recommended a 200,000 pesos bail for the case. Meanwhile, in coordination with the Pandi and Baliwag City Police Stations and with the support of the Bulacan 2nd Provincial Mobile Force Company, 3 more wanted individuals were arrested. The accused persons are facing separate charges for violation of Republic Act 9003 or the Ecological Solid Waste Management Act of 2000, violation of Section 10A of Republic Act 7610 or the Special Protection of Children Against Abuse, Exploitation, and Discrimination Act, and violation of the Batas Pambansa No. 22, otherwise known as the Anti-Bouncing Check Law. The 3 suspects, along with the confiscated evidence, are now in police custody, pending their appearance at court hearings.
This is Shai Morales for Eurotv News.
As part of an ongoing plan to capture Gaza City and defeat Hamas, Israel has strengthened its military campaign in Gaza this week. As a result, residents were forced to flee south, an area designated by Israel as its safe zone. Son Santiago tells us the details.
Israel has intensified its military campaign in Gaza this week as part of its ongoing plan to capture Gaza City and defeat Hamas, forcing residents to flee south. Despite Israel's claims that its strikes are aimed at Hamas infrastructures, the attacks have repeatedly hit residential areas, schools, and hospitals in the north. Among the targets were 10 buildings belonging to schools and clinics used as shelters, according to the United Nations Relief and Works Agency. The Palestinian Civil Defense also reported that more than 50 multi-story buildings have been destroyed in recent weeks, including the Al-Ghafri high-rise tower, Gaza's tallest residential building. On the other hand, panic erupted as families tried to salvage belongings after Israel warned of a strike on the Manha Tower. This escalation has driven tens of thousands of Palestinians to evacuate south, an area designated by Israel as a so-called safe zone. International aid agencies warn conditions there are unsafe, with overcrowded shelters, shortages of food and clean water, and collapsing sanitation systems. Nearly 65,000 Palestinians have been killed and more than 160,000 wounded as of the time being since the war began. According to Gaza's health ministry, 51 Palestinians were killed during the past 24 hours. This is Son Santiago for Eurotv News.
Alex Yala continues to dominate the international scene as she proceeds to Jingshan Tennis Open in China in yet another Women's Tennis Association 125 Open title. Here's Kyle Basa for the sports update.
Our sports news. Alexandra Ayala is back in action once again as she is going to compete in Jingshan Tennis Open in China in another WTA or Women's Tennis Association 125 Open title. Us fans were mesmerized and amazed by Ayala's historic run during her Sao Paulo Open in Brazil last week, and she is now ready for battle to represent the country once again. The 20-year-old Pinay reached the quarterfinals in the competition, yet she was defeated by her fellow Southeast Asian Janice Chen of Indonesia. The final scores of their matchup was 6-4, 6-1. Before she was eliminated, she had a 7-game winning streak wherein her world ranking rose. We are yet to experience another run by the left-handed prodigy of the Philippines, as she was recognized and respected by the Filipino fans by her achievements. Her current world ranking is number 57, coming from world rank number 61. The Jingshan Tennis Open 2025 will be held from September 18 to September 22. That's it for our sports news. Once again, I am Kyle Basa. ALVIN, KRIZZA, back to you.
Thanks, Kyle. Indonesian rapper and singer Rich Brian will soon visit the Philippines for a concert. Tickets range from 1,500 to 5,000 pesos. Details from Sam Martos.
Let's step into the world of entertainment for the latest news and updates. For our showbiz news, Indonesian rapper Rich Brian is heading back to Manila for his Where Is My Head tour, which will take place in December. Indonesian rapper and singer Rich Brian is set to return to the Philippines for his upcoming concert, titled Where Is My Head? In an Instagram post by Live Nation PH, they released the official concert poster along with the ticket prices for his tour. It can be remembered that Brian last visited Manila in 2022 when he performed at the Head in the Clouds Music Festival. Concert tickets are available for purchase, which cost 1,500 pesos up to 5,000 pesos. Meanwhile, Where Is My Head Asia concert is scheduled to take place on December 8, 2025 at the New Frontier Theater in Quezon City. And that's our entertainment news. Once again, I'm Sam Martos. Back to you, KRIZZA and Alvin.
Thanks, Sam Martos. And that's the latest news for tonight. You may visit Eurotvphilippines.com for more news and information. Once again, I am KRIZZA Lopez.
You can also catch our live broadcast through our social media accounts and via Pinoy Stream channel. I am ALVIN PELOBELLO. Thanks for joining us. This is Eurotv News Thread. Stay safe and have a good night, everyone.